We're here in North Belfast, one of the hardest hit areas during the 30-year Northern Ireland conflict, which pitted Catholics and nationalists in favour of a united Ireland against Protestant Unionists who wanted the country to remain part of the United Kingdom. It's also the field site for the Belfast Mobility Project, which examined how divisions between and among groups affected people's daily lives in the city. The research explored a range of environmental and psychological factors that impact how and where people move through the urban landscape. Despite the existence of a peace agreement in Northern Ireland since 1998, the legacy of violence and fear continues to exert a massive influence over areas such as this. As a result, Catholics and Protestants residing in close proximity often live very segregated lives. It's not uncommon in many areas such as this one to have a block or two on the same street, a bus stop favoured by Catholics and another one by Protestants.
Knowing how to read the landscape then, that is, interpret symbolic expressions such as murals, flags and painted curbstones, is a critical component of everyday life for residents here. It's also a factor affecting mobility choices and movement patterns, shaping the routes people choose, as well as the shops, facilities and other public spaces they feel comfortable using. These shops, for instance, at Ardoyne, are known to be heavily patronized by the Catholic community, and as a result, some Protestant research participants told us they didn't feel comfortable using them. Take a short walk down the streets of North Belfast, as we are today, and it's quickly apparent that markers of Protestant and Catholic territory are everywhere. This wall painting, for instance, at the end of the Ardoyne shops, featuring Gaelic phrases and Celtic motifs, signals the area's Irish nationalist Catholic history and identity. Of course, some features of division can be a bit more obvious, not to mention practically insurmountable. For instance, it's not uncommon to encounter giant security barriers or peace walls in some areas. These were built to stem violence at interfaces where the two communities meet. This wall, here at Alliance Avenue, marks what is known to locals as the border between Catholic and Protestant neighbourhoods. As you can see, just beyond here, red, white and blue curbstones and flags flapping from lampposts tell us we are entering the Protestant enclave of Glenbryn. Markers such as these telegraph very particular senses of belonging and threat, and some houses, built along the wall here, even have cages to protect their windows. Given this context, and to better understand why people make the mobility choices they do, the Belfast Mobility Project drew on new technologies and methods of GIS analysis. These were combined with walking interviews and questionnaires. We wanted to make sure that everybody had the opportunity to get involved and provide input, so we took the project directly to local residents. In each neighbourhood we visited in North Belfast, we went door to door to recruit our research participants. Those who agreed to get involved first completed our survey on intergroup contact and activity space segregation. Some also downloaded our GPS tracking application to their Android smartphone. Designed by a member of our research team, the app allowed us to record people's real-time movements for a 2-week period. Finally, a selection of participants took part in walking interviews. The walking interviews focused on the role of landscape and identity in shaping mobility choices and allowed us a window into the lived experiences of residents. During the walking interviews, interviewees were told to imagine they were tour guides taking researchers on a typical journey through their local area. In this way, the rich local knowledge of the landscape, its meanings and association was captured in residents' own words.
We find? Well, Catholics and Protestants demonstrated markedly different spatial orientations. Their perceptions of the environment differed in ways that helped to maintain activity-space segregation and shows how practices of segregation are bound up in mobility choices. At the same time, mobility choices can also help to transcend broader sectarian divisions, and spaces of opportunity, spaces where positive contact may occur, were also revealed during our research. These are places like a GP surgery, early education centres, supermarkets and other spaces of consumption. So why does activity space segregation matter? When a city is organised to divide communities from one another, this often increases the likelihood of prejudice and conflict between them. Alternatively, when people have the opportunity to meet, get to know one another and form friendships, this tends to create more positive relationships between groups. It creates trust and solidarity and social cohesion. Increased mobility also has all sorts of positive knock-on effects. The more free people are to interact with one another, encounter different ideas, and make full use of the city's public spaces and the amenities, the better it is for their well-being, their quality of life, prosperity, and indeed for the city as a whole. Civic unity and pride isn't really possible unless everyone feels they have a stake in the municipal game. At the same time, less mobility also curtails people's economic and life opportunities, such as access to jobs, education and enriching experience. So for cities seeking to improve their regional, national and global reputations, as well as their desirability for commercial and cultural investment, opening up the urban environment so that everybody feels comfortable moving through the city has clear economic implications. Segregation, simply put, is bad for the bottom line.